99% of hatred is, towards Pops. And then I'm just his son. So it really just comes from that, and I told him that too.
Man, look at this punk ass.
So, like, which way you going? Like, even if you turn this way, I'll be because in practice, you do be getting faster the farther you go. You about to get games dropped.
You know what's scary? Nobody talks about how Shedeur turned Travis into a real-life Heisman winner. Every pass on point, every catch, divine. Dude looked like he was playing a video game on rookie mode. Fast forward to the league, and suddenly Trevor Lawrence can't even find him. He's wide open, waving both arms, and Trevor's out here throwing to a damn ghost. A make-believe target. But let Shedeur's coaches and the haters tell it.
He's not NFL ready.
And after last weekend, we clearly know it's because he gets touchdowns. Scary shit, huh?
If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me.
Will you step in and do some of that if it's the wrong organization and say he ain't going there?
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it publicly. I'll do it privately.
I mean, how many times did Raul get touched?
You said what?
How many times did Raul get touched? There was able, like, of course, whenever you're able to run the ball consistently and whenever you're able to, then that opens up the pass, But it's just like you got to understand, like, what your team good at.
On perfect time already.
Come on, bro, let's make a song. Let's drop one, real shit. I play football. Here we go.
Yeah, it is football.
The NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback. Clueless. They have no idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterback. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many
they say we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterback? They don't.
I don't think certain decisions are about race. I think they're about money. Watching this draft, I'm like, y'all throwing money down the drain.
What I think happened is Deion didn't go the traditional route when it came to coaching in the power conference and to making on that big stage.
Yeah.
He went from Jackson to Colorado, and he was never like an assistant coach. He was never like in anybody's like fraternity, or he wasn't in the circle of people that usually get these positions.
Yeah.
They didn't like that at all. When he got to Colorado, they tried to be like, you're never going to win. You didn't deserve to be here. All of these things. He did that and he won. 32 owners in the NFL said, if we let this guy get away with going from that level to where we are that fast, that's going to set a sign for all the other black people to think that they can do the same thing, especially the people that think that they could have used him as a quarterback to make their team better. They all agreed that if we all just turn down this guy that could make our team better, we're sustaining and we're retaining power a little bit more. We're taking this sacrifice to not get better to make sure that we don't have 5 other Deion Sanders in the next decade come and try to take over our league where we own the power.
Let me get this straight. The Jets asked the Browns about Shedeur's availability to be traded, and the Browns said they wanted a 2nd-round pick. Keep in mind, they drafted this man with the 5th-round selection. He has not played in a regular season NFL game, but yet they want a 2nd-round pick for him. Now, magically before the trade deadline, Shedeur is listed as questionable today due to a back injury and inactive versus the Patriots. And they elevated their practice squad quarterback Bailey Zapp to be QB2. Translation, the Browns never had any intention of playing Shedeur Sanders. They literally listed this man as inactive, so there'd be no chance he could possibly play even if Dillon Gabriel was terrible or got hurt. Browns fans, Kevin Stefanski hates you. The GM literally traded Joe Flacco so Stefanski would be forced to make Shedeur QB2. And he said, no, I'm going to go with Dillon Gabriel and elevate Bailey Zapp, who's been awful in the NFL. Now, this is organizational malpractice if I've ever seen it. And let's keep in mind, in these trade talks, the Jets are desperate. They're 0-7. Aaron Glenn does not want to be fired. He's a really good coach, but his quarterback play has been awful. When in the history of the NFL has a backup quarterback ever demanded a second-round pick? I can't think of a single situation. I'm in disbelief, and this might be NFL collusion, because there's no way you won't play him and you won't trade him, despite him looking better than the starter Dylan Gabriel. Let me know what y'all think down below.
He's at the University of Colorado, takes them to a winning record in a bowl game in 2 years. He signs a new contract that's worth more than what a lot of coaches are making in the NFL. And as a college team, not even a top 10 team, Deion Sanders is getting more media coverage and game day coverage than NFL teams. They hate Deion, they don't like Deion, and they wanted to humble Deion. But what was so sad and classless about this, Art? What was so sad and classless about this, Art? They did it through his son. This wasn't about Shedeur. This was about Deion. This wasn't about Shedeur. This was about Deion. This was about showing Shedeur, Shiloh, and the entire Black America who loves Deion Sanders. This was about showing the slaves who runs this plantation. And they did it in such demonic form, diabolical form, and they didn't stop there, Art. They had the audacity to let the son of the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, a team that Deion Sanders helped put on the map. Look at this. They let the son, the 21-year-old son of the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, an NFL team that Deion helped to make popular, and his son prank called Shedeur on draft day.
Let's call this what it is. If Shedeur Sanders was white, if Shedeur Sanders' father was a random truck driver and not Neon Deion and not Prime Time, you would not hear even a tenth of the stuff that is getting brought up about his personality, his character, his attitude leading up to this draft. Call it what it is. The NFL and its good boy network of coaches and owners and personnel cannot stand the concept of a young, confident, brash, black quarterback explaining to everybody that he knows his worth and doesn't need to impress anybody in order to be drafted. So naturally, they're going to find any and every reason to try and take this kid down a notch. You see, when Josh Rosen before his draft came out and said every team that passed on him would regret it, and when the Mannings came out and made sure that Eli would under no circumstances go to San Diego, they chalked that up to confidence in making a smart business decision. But when Shedeur Sanders comes out and lets it be known that he knows his worth as a player, and his pops comes back out and says that he believes fully in his son's ability to be a great quarterback, no, we can't have that. That's overdoing it. That's doing too much. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why that is. That's called racism. So you see, because we in the NFL, Shedeur Sanders, are so insecure about the way you carry yourself and the way you believe in yourself, we now have to find every and any reason to try and trash your abilities on the field to make it seem like you aren't that great. And this is nothing new, because Bill Polian came out before Lamar Jackson's draft and said he should convert to a wide receiver. But he wasn't asking Josh Allen to do that before the draft. The guy threw for over 3,900 yards last year. He had a QBR of over 160, 35 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. What exactly are we talking about here that he can't play? How does this make him trash? Why do we have to make the kid seem like a bum? Does it mean that it's a guarantee Shedeur Sanders is going to pan out, that he's going to be a franchise quarterback? Does it mean he's going to be a star? No. However, I do know this. Dak Prescott is getting paid at least $35+ million a year to be a B- quarterback at best. Shedeur Sanders has the ability to make every single throw on the football field that Dak Prescott has shown us the last 8+ years. That I do know. But the way this league has tried to and will continue to try to do leading up to this draft to knock this kid's talent, all because they don't like his personality, they don't like his demeanor, they don't like his father, is racist in every single way possible.
Oh, Cleveland Browns fans, let's go ahead and cut right to the chase. Kevin Stefanski is never going to give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity. He's not. And I think I understand the assignment now. You look at this game, and Kevin Stefanski is almost like the captain on the ship of the Titanic. He's going down with the ship. His way, nobody else's way. Myles Garrett just set a franchise record with 5 sacks in a game, and they lost 32-13 because Kevin Stefanski is not what's doing in the best interest of the team. Now, why do I say that? Dillon Gabriel, I got nothing against the young man. I think he's a phenomenal college quarterback who has an opportunity to be a contributor in the NFL. But when your coach comes out and doesn't hold the starting quarterback accountable for not playing well, regardless of whether he is a young quarterback or not, doesn't watch the film and immediately comes out in the press conference and says, I'm going to stick with Dillon Gabriel after the bye week, knowing that Myles Garrett isn't throwing his helmet on the sideline because he was upset that he didn't get more sacks. Myles Garrett was upset that his 5 sacks didn't matter. That is a massive problem in the locker room. And when you look at a guy like Shedeur Sanders, every chance Kevin Stefanski has gotten to put him down, to not put him in a position to be successful, he's done it. Kevin Stefanski owes it to the locker room to give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity to compete, have a pathway to the field, no different than any other player. But what Kevin Stefanski is telling all of us straight to our faces is that Dillon Gabriel is his guy, and he will never start Shedeur Sanders unless Dillon Gabriel can't play. He might even play Bailey Zappi before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might go ask the Baltimore Ravens to trade back for Snoop Huntley before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might even go ask the Bengals to trade Joe Flacco back so he can be the starter before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might even go to the Raiders and get Kenny Pickett back before he plays Shedeur Sanders. The only way this Cleveland Browns team gets better this season or into next year is if Kevin Stefanski is not there. The only way Shedeur Sanders gets an opportunity in Cleveland to be the guy is if Kevin Stefanski gets fired.